Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 15 is entitled as Purushottama Vidya, Purushottama Yogam. Sloka 16, Part 7. Dvāv imau puruṣau loke, kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca, kṣaraś sarvāṇi bhūtāni, kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. From the previous session, we learned that these two kinds of entities are namely bhūtāni and mumukshus. Bhūtāni are two types, artha kama para and the other one is dharma para. Now we will see the further division within the dharma para. Dharma para are those who are interested in going to higher planets within this material world, that is within the Mula Prakriti. Those two dharma paras are number 1, Devantara paras, and number 2 is Bhagavat paras. Devantara paras are those who worship other gods in order to get some result, some fruits. They do not understand that Paramatma, Sri Krishna, is residing within them and within every entity. That includes the God that they worship to attain some temporary fruits, to get some temporary pleasure. Krishna in fact clearly mentioned this one in the 4th chapter itself in verse 12. Kāṅkṣantah karmanām siddhim yajanta iha devataha kṣipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods, devatas, to get a quick result, because everyone is interested in instant result for their work. But these people who are Devantara paras, who worship the devatas, do not understand I am in everyone's heart as Antaratma. As soon as one desires to worship some devata, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular devata. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktah shraddhayarchitam ichchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. It is not just I increase and make their faith steady towards that devata. In fact, whatever they are wanting to obtain from that particular devata is actually given by me, not by the devatas. Sataya shraddhaya yuktas tasyaradhanam ihate labate cha tatakhaman mayeva vihitan hitan. We have went through all these in our previous chapters, and such people who worship the devata, anya devata, to obtain some results, do not know that it is me who is residing as the super soul within them and also within those devatas that they worship, and I am the one who is giving the results that they are aspiring for through these devatas. And such people are known as Devantara paras. We have completed seeing Artha Kama para within Bhūtānis. Now we are learning about Dharma paras. Within Dharma paras, there are two, Devantara paras and Bhagavat para. What we saw now is Devantara para. they are the one who worship the devatas to attain the higher planets within this material world. The second type of dharmaparas are called as bhagavatparas. They do not worship the Anya Devata, they worship Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. Krishna is their focus of worship. They have very strong faith in Krishna and their bhakti is also steadfast. However, one major problem with Bhagavatparas are that they also seek the Lord for material pleasures. They also want to have Artha and Kama. Artha Kama Paras also wanted Artha and Kama, but within this earthly planet, whereas Dharma Paras of two types, one is Devantra Paras, who wanted to have Artha and Kama in the heavenly planet. They do that by worshipping the Devatas. And the Bhagavatparas also wanting to have Artha and Kama, but they only worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, to obtain that Artha and Kama in the heavenly planet. We did see in the 7th chapter, 16th sloka, where Krishna said, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrutino arjuna artha jignashur artharti jnanicha bharadarishabha. There are 4 types of people who surrender to me. One is Artha, another one is Artharti, another one is Jignashu, and the last one is Jnani. Arthas are one who has lost their wealth or something from their acquisition. He finds no means to regain them by himself. Therefore he takes refuge in Krishna, like the example of Gajendra. Whereas Artharti are the one who is aspiring for some new wealth, Aishwarya. They did not lose anything, but they want something new, wealth. Example is like Dhruva. He wanted something new and better than his own father. The third one, Jignashu, one who is inclined in cultivating knowledge, one who is more focused on the self, like Shaunaka Rishis. Whereas the last one, Jnani, one who has knowledge about Krishna, like Shukadeva. Krishna appreciates, glorifies the Jnani. Udharaha sarvāṇi jnani tu atmaiva me matam. One who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider him to be just like my own self. So one is knowing about Krishna, and the next is knowing about our destination and ultimate goal in our life. Those who doesn't have the knowledge of their self, that their Atma and their eternal position is to serve the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in his abode. Rather, they have all kinds of knowledge to enjoy the pleasures of this material world. Such people fall into the category of bhubukshus. Now let's learn about mumukshus. Mumukshus are those jivatma who have spent enough lifetime in this samsara, in this material world, but somehow by the grace of the Lord they got connected to the process of bhakti and sharanagati. By this process they gotten rid of their papa karma as well as punya karma, because we don't want to have the punya karma either, as we already saw. If we have the punya karma, then we have to enjoy the results of the punya karma. Therefore, one must get rid of punya karma as well. And that is all done through the means of bhakti yoga and sharanagati. After getting rid of all the karmas, then they leave this samsara and goes back to the spiritual world, the Paramapada, the supreme abode. Over there, he beholds and enjoys Krishna by performing devotional service unto him. Now, within this mumukshus, there are two classifications. One is called Kaivalya Paras, another one is called Bhagavat Prapti Paras. The Kaivalya Paras are those who wish to be liberated from this world. They don't want to have any more suffering. They don't want to have any more temporary pleasure. And they don't want to have the body which causes these temporary pleasures and pain. They simply want to experience pleasure by enjoying their self. Their self meaning Atma without body. Here we are not talking about those living entities who are wandering in the material world due to their karma not having body. Because there are living entities in this world, they don't have body. Without body, they wander for some time. Because of their karma, they have to be like that without body. The Kaivalyartis are not among them. They are different. They completely got rid of the karmas, papa karma and punya karma. Because they got rid of the papa and punya, they don't need to take another body. Therefore, they don't get a body because they don't have papa and punya. Because they don't have papa and punya, they are not fit to be in this world, the material world. Rather, they are qualified to be in the world above the Prakriti. Over there, they be by themselves, deriving complete pleasure within themselves, because in that liberated state, the Jivatma is fully Sat, Chit and Ananda. So, cognizing the Atma itself will give Ananda to oneself. And this is what they desire for. They do not desire to attain the Supreme Lord, Paramatma, but they want to be free from the material world so that they can enjoy their self, which is full of eternity, knowledge and bliss. Such people are known as Kaivalya Paras, who fall under Mumukshu category. The another division within Mumukshus are known as Bhagavat Prapti Paras or Bhagavat Prapti Kamas. They are the ones who have realized that their constitutional position is to serve the Supreme Lord. If they have to serve the Supreme Lord face to face, in person, then they need to go to that abode, which is Sri Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, which is above the Prakriti. The Kaivalya Arti also goes above the Prakriti, but they are not allowed to enter into the abode of the Lord, because that's not their interest. But those great jnanis who are interested in the service of the Lord, who understands their eternal dharma, Krishna says, Priyohi jnanino tyartam aham sachamama priyaha. For them I am very dear. For me they are very dear. Within Bhagavat Prapti Paras, there are two divisions. One is Bhaktas, another one is Sharanagatas. We will learn about them in our next session. To summarize, in this session, we learned about Devantara Paras and Bhagavat Paras. Devantara Paras are those who worship other devatas to attain some material benefit, like going to heavenly planet. And Bhagavat Paras are those who worship the Supreme Lord, Krishna, to attain material pleasure. These people are certainly better than all the above that we mentioned, because it is said, akama sarvakamova moksha kama udaratihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate puruṣam param. Bhagavatam says, whether one is without desire or is full of desires, wanting to enjoy the material pleasures, or if one is interested in liberation, moksha, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, as it is said here, at any case, it is always better and safe to worship Sri Krishna. In that sense, Bhagavat Paras are much better than the Devantara Paras. Next we learnt about mumukshus, those who are interested only in moksha. Within them there are two types. One is Kaivalya Paras, another one is Bhagavat Prapti Paras. Kaivalya Paras are those who are interested only in enjoying their self, their Atma, in the liberated state, above the material world. Whereas Bhagavat Prapti Kamas, Bhagavat Prapti Paras, are those who have realized their constitutional position and their relationship with Krishna. Therefore, their interest is to reach the supreme abode of the Lord. And in the next session, we will see the two groups within Bhagavat Prapti Paras. Namaste, Hare Krishna.